Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video I'm doing another romance recommendations. So I was watching Natasha's video from My Reading Is Odd and she made a video called like booktubers to watch in 2018 or something, and she mentioned me, which was really sweet and really nice. And she said how she doesn't really read romance but she kind of wants to read the genre a little bit, and I just kind of realized I never made a video of like romance books to start with. I feel like she just gave me a great idea to do a video where I recommend some romance books that I think are a great start to start with the genre. I'm not new at reading romance books. I've been reading romance books probably since like 2015, 14, around there. So I'm not new to the genre, and when I do my romance recommendations, I never really think that like some people have never read romance books before. So I feel like this video is way overdue, and I'm going to try to recommend some books that I think are a great start if you want to start with romance books, and kind of a good starting point, I guess. So I read a lot of more like over-the-top, dramatic, alpha male type of romance books. I love the like dramatic stuff, but I know that like for not everybody likes that in romance books. Like for instance, I love Abby Glines, but would I recommend her books if you're just starting out with romance? No, I wouldn't, because they're full of tropes and kind of problematic things, but I still love her books and I'm obsessed with them. But she's not an author like that I would recommend starting with. I think when you start romance books, you kind of quickly understand like what you like and what you don't like in a romance book, and then you kind of just have to search for books that you think are not gonna have what you don't like in them. Does that make sense? I don't think I'm making sense. Anyways, so I'm gonna recommend some books that I think are not problematic. I hope. I can't remember. But I feel like these are on the safer side. I feel like they're definitely good books to start with. A lot of these authors are good authors to start with when you want to start romance books. And yeah, so I'm just going to kind of go through a list. I hope this will help you guys start reading romance books. So the first series I'm going to recommend is the Fusion series by Kristen. The first book is Listen to Me. This series follows a group of women who run this restaurant together, and they're all businessy and funny, and it's great, and they each find love basically. I really like this series. It's really fun, it's really well written, it's very well developed. The books are super short, so they're not very long. This is book number 2, Close to You, and they are companion books, so you don't need to read them in order. However, I suggest you do, because you will get spoiled for future books. So the first one is Listen to Me, and there's like 5 books in this series. They're all pretty short, so I think they're not more than 300 pages. Yeah. I don't like Kristen's other series, so I don't really recommend that one, and the With Me in Seattle series, I didn't like that one. This one I just thought was so well written. I love the characters. I love their interaction. I love how they're all like business women and they run this restaurant bar together. Super fun. It's a good place to start with romance books. I highly recommend it. This series is more like adult romance. Next is Serena Bowen. So I have read most of her books. I think there might be like one series I haven't read, and I love her books. I definitely recommend the Brooklyn Bruisers series. These are definitely adult romance. They follow a hockey team who find love. I just absolutely love these books. They are one of my favorite sports romances. I just absolutely adore them, and I have to say probably book 1 is my favorite, just because I love like second chance romances, and that's this one. They're just so great. They're also pretty short, so they're quick, and they don't have any slut shaming or any like problematic aspects that I recall, but if there are, you can correct me in the comments. I'm trying to be really safe with recommending books that, you know, don't have slut shaming or problematic aspects. Like, I'm really trying hard to pick things that I think everybody would like. I just don't get offended by those things in books, so it doesn't really bother me, but I know that for others it does bother them. So I think these are a pretty safe bet. I really, really love them, and I highly recommend them for a good hockey romance. Next, I recommend Undecided by Juliana Keyes. This is a book I read in 2016 and absolutely loved it. It totally surprised me. It's a new adult book. It takes place in college. I don't recall like any problematic aspects in this book. I remember it being like fluffy and entertaining and funny and just a really good romance book. It really surprised me. I didn't expect to like this book that much, but like it was really good. I really liked it. Another author I recommend checking out when starting romance books is definitely Penny Reid. This is her new adult series. I feel like everybody loves this series, but I think there are a few people who didn't like it that much. I feel like give it a try. It's kind of quirky and different. I really liked it. They're quite short. Like this is the whole book itself, but like you can read parts of it, if that makes sense. And I just really liked it. I found it really addicting and really fun and different. This is just about a girl who overhears a conversation that she shouldn't, and she kind of gets swept away by this guy, and it's super cute. It takes place in college, I think. I just really liked it. I love the characters. I need to do a reread. But I also recommend Penny Reid's other series, the Winston Brothers series. This is book 3, but the first book is Truth or Beard. And I highly recommend this series because this series just follows a family of brothers who each find love, and they're all so different and quirky, and the family relationship is so great, and I love all of the female characters in it as well. They're all super different, and Beard Science is probably my favorite other than Truth and Beard, I think. But I really, really love these books, and I think they're definitely worth a try. I hope this video is not too long. Another author that I recommend is Megan Erickson. I think I'm saying that right. She wrote 2 series that I really like. The first one is the Bowler University series, and the first book is Make It Count, and these all take place in college, and they are super cute, super adorable, super different, and not as like intense. They're just kind of fluffy, good romance books. I highly recommend this trilogy. And then I also recommend Mechanics of Love series as well by her. The first book is Dirty Thoughts. This is an adult romance, but I definitely recommend her books. They're super great. She also writes, I think she's written male romance, I think. She has a lot of great books, and I definitely love these 2 series by her, so go check them out because they're really great and fluffy and wonderful. And the last author I think you should start with for romance books is definitely Lauren Lane. I've talked about her many, many times, but I truly think that you guys should check out her books. Her books are really, really great. I think her books get better as they go on, and as she continues to write books and come up with unique ideas, her books get better and better. But I do recommend starting with like one of her first books, and that is After the Kiss. This is part of the Sex, Love, and Stiletto series. I highly recommend starting with this series. This series follows a bunch of women who work at this magazine company, and they also compete with this male magazine. I just love these female characters and their romances, and they're just so great. I highly recommend them. Lauren Lane has so many books out, but I do recommend starting with the Sex and Love Stiletto, and then you can read the Oxford series, which features the men from the male magazine, and they kind of intertwine a little bit, so I highly recommend reading those 2 series by her. And she also has a couple standalones that you could read as well, but I do recommend starting with After the Kiss. So I hope that helped you guys. I am going to leave the links to every book that I talked about in this video because I feel like I didn't really give proper synopsis. So I will leave the link to each book down below so you can actually like read a synopsis and get a better idea of what the book is about. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I helped you give you guidelines to where to start with romance books. If you want me to give you specific recommendations for certain romance books, you can leave comments down below and I will try my best to recommend you a specific book if you want. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!